Hello, my name's Julie Williams. I'm a registered migration agent with Migration Down Under, and I'm going to be talking to you about the 189 visa. The subclass 189 visa is an independent skilled visa that allows you to remain permanently in Australia, and it doesn't require the sponsorship by a state or a relative. It's a points-based application, and it's dependent also on your occupation. Your occupation must be on the skilled occupation list to apply for this independent pathway to permanent residency. There's a variety of occupations on the list, from medical professions through to IT professionals to engineers, and a lot of trades including plumbers, chef, electrician. There's a variety of occupations there. And you get points for so many, for various different factors such as age, English language, perhaps you've studied in Australia, work experience, qualification, etc. So the first step of the process is to have your skills assessed to make sure that they are comparable to an Australian qualified person in that same occupation. So dependent on your occupation will be dependent on the skill assessing authority and how long they take and the processes and the requirements, etc. Some professionals require English language levels, such as Engineers Australia, and others don't. Once you've got the skills assessment, the next thing is to look at English language. And this is regardless of whether you're a native English speaker coming with a passport from the UK, US, Canada, Ireland, etc. Because it's English is where you can gain the points. And the reason that points are so important is because to actually apply for the 189 visa, you first have to put an expression of interest in. And the expression of interest requires a minimum points of 65. It doesn't cost anything to lodge an expression of interest. It can be lodged online, and it takes, and then it's about 2 years that you'll be able to remain in the pool. If for some reason you don't get an invitation, after 2 years your invitation will cease and you'll need to reapply. How long it takes to get an invitation once you've lodged would be dependent on your occupation and dependent on the number of points you've got. So at the moment, the requirement is that you have to have a minimum of 65 points to lodge an expression of interest. However, 65 is not getting you an invitation to lodge a permanent residency visa or a 189 visa. How it works, there is a computer-generated invitation round once a month on the 11th of each month. And the volume is dictated by the government, but the volume of whether you're going to get an invitation and when will be determined on the volume of applicants and applications in expression of interest, and also the competitiveness of it, because there are so many people really vying to get all the same spots in the 189 that they're pushing up the points. So whilst you may have 65 to put an expression of interest in, the last couple of rounds required a minimum of 70 or 75. In some cases, such as accountant, required 80 points or higher. So be aware that just because you've got 65 an expression of interest is not going to get you an invitation to lodge a 189. If you've got 75, then you can feel a lot more confident. How long it's going to take for that invitation will be, it's really anyone's guess. It could be a month or two, it could be 4 months. It's just, again, dependent on the volume of people, and if you've got 75 and others are coming in 80 and 85, they're going to bump you off and they're going to get the invitation before you, even though you may have been waiting longer. So how to get the points? People are looking at English language for one area of gaining quite a lot of points. Some people are being qualified in their home language at an accredited point, an accredited level. For a translator or interpreter, that gives you another 5 points. Work experience in Australia is worth more than work experience overseas. And also people that have studied in Australia will gain further points for that as well. And unfortunately, what the trend is at the moment, the points seem to be going further up and up. So once you do get an invitation, then you've got 60 days to lodge the visa application. So whilst you've got a occupation on the list, you've got the required 65 points, unfortunately it's not going to guarantee you an invitation to then submit a 189 permanent residency visa. The processing once you do get an invitation is once again dependent on the volume there, but usually you can expect about a 4 to 6 month wait. Sometimes it may be a little bit longer because you've got to do medicals, you've got to get police clearances from countries that tend to take a little bit of time to provide those. But that's where it will all sort of dictate the processing. But there is a lot more, I guess, to talk about with the 189. So please don't hesitate in contacting us if there is something that I haven't answered. info@migrationdownunder.com, or if you want to give us a call on 02 9419 5411.